Hello, today I'm meeting Andy McNab, the former SAS hero and best-selling thriller writer. McNab came to fame following his sensational book about the failed Bravo 20 mission in the First Gulf War, which recounted his capture and torture at the hands of the Iraqis. Since then he's made his fortune from high-octane action novels and as a security expert. I've interviewed McNab before, and he's an open, down-to-earth South Londoner who's led a truly extraordinary life. The one problem is, he always keeps his identity secret, making him probably the world's most famous silhouette. So what you're about to see is me chatting to a rather large shadow and a fetching table lamp. But who am I to argue with a man from the SAS? So Andy, I'm not so used to interviewing a silhouette as such. So can you explain, for the people that don't know, why you have to not appear, as it were?
Yes, yeah. It's during my army career, I spent 10 years in the Special Air Service. I was 18 years in the Army, 8 in the infantry, 10 years in the Special Air Service. And a lot of that time was during the war in Northern Ireland. So I was a member of an organisation called 14 Intelligence Group, and it was an undercover operations organisation well, for me it was in Derry. I spent a couple of years there as a surveillance operator and information gatherer. And because of the activities of that, showing my face could potentially put the Irish guys who were part of that organisation who still lived there, put them at risk. And also I've had a number of death threats. I've had 3 death threats that are sort of tangible death threats. So one of them was a fruit, which was sorted out anyway. He was just a lunatic. Yeah, just a lunatic. But 2 of them were deemed as quite serious. So it's just being sensible. That's all it is. It's not cloak and dagger stuff. It's just being sensible.
How does someone actually make a death threat to someone like yourself?
They write letters, or they make announcements, and there's a couple of websites, and all that sort of stuff goes on. And then obviously the fruit just wrote to the publisher. And that was sort of really quickly sorted out. But it's nothing to do with your Iraqi experience and none of that. It's all to do with the counterintelligence war that was going on in Northern Ireland.
Is there a part of you that sort of regrets not having a bigger sort of profile, as it were?
No, in fact the opposite. Since now, sort of get to know people who are sort of in the public domain, whether they're actors or presenters or whatever it may be. And actually, I don't particularly want that life. I was in North London once with an actor who's he's sort of, it's like, well, he's a film star, but all he does, he goes to Waitrose and he was buying like a pint of milk and some crisps or something. But everybody's looking at him, looking what he's buying, and you don't particularly want that. And I quite like it as it is. Actually, it works all right because you can get the tube, or you can just bum around and do your own thing. It's great. Everybody where I live in the middle of nowhere. It's sort of out in Norfolk now, and they all think I'm a drug dealer. It's great because I just bum around, so I'm the drug dealer. Herbal Henry, I think I'm called, or something.
Herbal Henry?
But yeah, I'm a drug dealer because nobody knows what I do. I just bum around.
Don't you feel like you want to put them right?
No, not at all. No, it's great. No, I want it to go the other way. I want them to think I am. It's great.
But you must. Do you miss out on some of the perks? I mean, the adulation, for example. You could have, had a lot of women fans. Yeah,
well, no. Strangely, you get all that, which is actually even more freaky. Because why? Because they don't know. It's no, you get all that sort of. All the letters and the Reader's Wife special pictures and all that sort of gear goes on, because certainly some of the pictures are a bit sort of outrageous, and you think, no, put your clothes on, put your clothes on.
How do you deal with it on an everyday basis when you're just sort of making acquaintances with it, when you're out socialising and people ask what you do, and do you have an ongoing sort of cover story?
No, do you know it's quite interesting where if you like my life revolves around whether I'm the work life, where it's all the McNab stuff and all that sort of stuff goes on, and then there's a crossover with those people in the media who sort of know me and know where I live and know my family, all that sort of stuff. And there's the other sort of social setup tends to be with people who've known me for years anyway. So it's very rarely you sort of bump into different people who you have to have some sort of form of cover story, really. And that's why I quite like this, being a local sort of drug dealer. I must be, because I've got here and I've got the big house and all that gear. So, but what does he do? He just walks around with his arse hanging out in shorts and flip flops, sort of thing. So I just let that run. It's good.
So do you foresee always having this sort of secret identity throughout the rest of your life?
Well, yeah, for work, yeah, but I don't see it as like a secret identity. I almost look at it as like a trade name, as more than anything. It's not as if I sort of worry too much about it. You know, it's as I said before, it's just been sensible really with the way sort of conduct business and home life really. So it's not cloaking, not hiding in doorways, none of that sort of stuff. It's just being sensible about it.
But you have several names. You have your real name that you use.
Yeah, well, most people just call me Dickhead as opposed to a real name. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, when your mates say, "All right, Dickhead," but no, it's just if you like a brand now, which has become a brand. So there's Andy McNab, the brand, and there's me.